Heard you. I like talking whenever she tells me not to talk. It's fun.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show, where Tepper likes to talk when I say mic's on, but he still likes to get under my skin. You just know how to get under my skin a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine.
That's a common theme
that's
with me.
That's a common theme here.
To be honest, that's most people that have ever met me. They're like, you're just kind of annoying. One person who's routinely annoyed by me. Let's go to my right. Joined by Greg Powers, next level athlete. Hey, buddy.
Hey, y'all.
How you doing?
Good.
Yeah.
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 I'm not going to trip on your lines, but it's a pretty big day coming up.
I guess. Well, so we can produce
lines.
we can produce this on the fly. Are you available to do a show next week?
Yeah. I'll do
Okay.
a show.
Next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Okay. Because that'll be our Thanksgiving spectacular.
Okay.
That's right.
And we've got to figure out. Pickle and I have to come up with an idea because we've done the food draft.
I won.
We've done the this or that. Right, we've done like, would you rather have like mashed potatoes or stuffing, things like that. We got to come up with a new bit for Thanksgiving, and I'm not quite sure what we want to do.
Turkey shots.
Turkey shots? What does that mean?
I don't know. It just sounds like drinking to me.
That's what we're doing, guys. We're doing turkey shots.
Powers is like, I'm only coming if there's gonna be turkey shots. Like, yeah, you can't get me here otherwise.
I was gonna say, I did make an order, so I'm now guy who orders turkey.
You
Me
order
too.
it. You order it like.
I order on
Is it just a bit, or do you really order it in like August?
No, I order on Labor Day
Labor Day.
because
That's
there's
crazy.
a sale at the turkey place.
And he reminded me of to order the turkey this year
right,
too.
Yeah, and it's a Cajun fried turkey, but yesterday I got the itch, and I'm like, you know what? Because they sell other things there, not
Right.
just turkeys. They've got a bunch of other stuff there, and so I might have gone and.
What was the itch
Where do you
for?
go?
They're not an advertiser, so I don't know if I want to give them free advertising, but it's a Louisville-based turkey
so it's
frying
around here.
organization. Oh yeah, I can go
Okay.
pick it up. They ship worldwide though.
And my turkeys are based out of Tyler,
Oh yeah, you get the what's the name of that?
Greenberg.
The Greenberg turkey. That's pretty famous. I guess I might as well give it. Cajun Turkey Company is where I go. Cajun Turkey Company.
Can you text it to me?
Yeah.
So I can.
Oh, it's great.
At least
It's
And
too
they-
late to get a turkey
Okay.
now. Don't.
Oh.
Maybe
Well,
not, maybe
I don't
not.
know about.
You
but
can't get the
here's
one
the
I-
thing. They've also got sides. They've also got all sorts of other stuff. So, for example, yesterday I got the itch because I was like, we're one side short. I can you know how you can tell? You've been through enough Thanksgiving. You're like, we're short.
Yeah.
So I got their
Interesting.
I got their bourbon cream corn casserole, which looks excellent. And then I also got, just as a little, because I was like, I can't be denied. They have a crawfish queso.
Ooh.
So I had to get a little bit of that too. So it's Cajun Turkey Company is where I go. I'll send you that link though. It's excellent.
Okay. What is the? I don't think I've ever asked you this, and I know you're a big Thanksgiving guy.
Am I?
What is your favorite Thanksgiving side? Because I know yesterday on the pre-show we talked about like we both like potato salad, green bean casserole.
People in the comments, depending on the delay, are going to be yelling at you because they know the answer. The answer is there's one king of Thanksgiving sides.
Okay.
It's green bean casserole.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I did mention that yesterday. I said my mom makes really great green bean casserole, and she brings it every single Thanksgiving. So
See,
I agree with
my
that.
My favorite side is ham.
Is that not like a main course for you though?
Well, turkey's the main course.
You can have
Okay.
two main courses though.
No.
Yes, you can.
Anything other than the main course is a side, which is how you get like a side of like
Turkey
burritos.
and ham can be a main course though.
Or tamales.
or tamales
yeah.
or something like that.
Okay.
No, green bean casserole. But here's the thing, and I've said this before, and actually Max Thompson had a very famous rant on the show about this. Green bean casserole is meant to be made out of the can. Okay, everything canned, everything. Don't make farm to table fresh green beans. Don't make your own cream of mushroom soup. No, all the nitrates, all the preservatives, all just glop it in there. Everything in there and mix it up and put the French's fried onions on top and bake it. That's it.
Question: Are
Yeah.
we going to have a potluck dinner again this week? Next week as a staff?
That seems like it's
Probably
up
out
to-
of your hands. I'm sure.
Yeah. How would I
it's
organize?
probably
See, I'm against
Pickle
it.
and I.
You're against the potluck?
I'm against any pre.
Ooh,
Thanksgiving.
that's
wanna
good because
build
Pickle
up.
and I have
Yeah,
talked
I'm
about
build
this.
really
up.
like if I were to want to do a potluck or something like that, it would have to be other foods besides Thanksgiving foods.
We
Like,
did talk about that because we were like, the reason we don't do Friendsgiving is because
You want
it
Thanksgiving to be
kind
special.
of ruins it. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to do a Friendsgiving, it needs to be different kinds of foods, not Thanksgiving
Allow me to
foods,
bring it
you know?
back to high school football.
Okay.
It's kind of why I don't mind that they're not playing any high school football games at AT&T Stadium before the state
Ooh,
championships,
Yeah.
right?
Analogy,
Because then you
yeah.
get there and then it's special.
Same reason why I usually
is.
like to take the semifinals off. Like I usually try to take
Yeah.
the semifinals off because I don't want to just
Good point.
blow and see the teams
Yeah.
2 weeks in a
Right.
row.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I
That's a
mean?
good point.
Like
excellent
half
point.
of the teams are going to be playing next week.
That's an excellent point. We'll just continue the pre-show because, whatever. We got recruiting stuff. We'll get to that. Transitioning to a different holiday.
Okay.
Christmas. Specifically, Christmas Eve. What do you do? Do you have a family thing that you do on Christmas Eve? Is there a tradition that you guys do? Christmas Eve, let's go Mallory Hartley.
Typically, now this year's going to be different because my family's going to be in all different kinds of places for Christmas. But typically, if we're all home, we go to my grandma's house for Christmas Eve. On Christmas
Over the
Day.
river and through the roads? Or through the woods?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. In the cottage.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say.
in the woods. But
In Arlington.
in Arlington, Texas,
In
in
Agtown.
the woods right next to me. Yeah, no. And on Christmas Day, we just open presents at my parents' house, and then we go back to my grandma's. Sometimes we go to my aunt's for the actual day of Christmas.
Okay, but
so
is there a special food item, dinner item? Do you have a traditional Christmas Eve dinner?
no, not really.
No? Okay, that's interesting to you.
So we
Sometimes
usually
we do
do
pizza.
like a fancy spread on Christmas
Oh.
Eve, like lobster tails and steak,
Oh.
Wow.
or
Wow.
some sort of seafood dish, or just something different. Like we've done, we've roasted a whole like a what is it? Like a Chateaubriand, like something like that. So we
That's fancy.
Wow, 1% powers over here.
yeah, I definitely fit that demo.
Yeah, I was gonna say because we do. If we're going up to St. Louis to see
Right.
my wife's folks, and my father-in-law makes chili on Christmas Eve. We do
Okay.
Yum.
chili on Christmas Eve, and I believe we'll go to church that night. I think we'll go to church
Yeah,
on
we
Christmas
typically
Eve.
do, too.
We'll do Christmas Eve mass, and then if we're at home, if we're in Texas, my mom would always make enchiladas. We had enchiladas on Christmas
Ooh.
Eve, and and you guys have seen my mom. She is as pale as I am, and yet her enchiladas pretty good.
Now we changed up the Christmas dinner to Italian, so we do like homemade
Oh, really?
gravy.
Oh,
And
that sounds really good.
like homemade meatballs and brajol,
Yeah.
which is like a stuffed.
That's not a
roast,
bad idea
basically.
because
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Like our Christmas dinner is not. It doesn't seem like anything special. Like it seems like let's do Thanksgiving again.
Yeah, we don't double down on the thing. We don't double down.
That's
on the
interesting. I might talk to my. Although it's gonna be, it's up in St. Louis this year. There's
Yeah.
no way I can change.
You're
that.
doing
I can.
chili.
She can change the tune.
Just
You're
have an
going
Emo's pizza.
Yuck. Absolutely not. What kind of monster do you think I am? Hit the theme, Expo.
Pickle!
Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show that's going to rank the pizzas. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, texasfootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live on texasfootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local, mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She's my mal pal. She's your mal pal. She's the associate producer of Dave Campbell's Texan Live. She's the pride of East Lansing. It's Mallory Hartley. Hi, Mallory.
Hey. Very proud Michigan State fan, by the way. We beat Kentucky last night.
I saw
basketball,
that.
So it was pretty
I
awesome.
saw that.
Pretty awesome.
And sitting to my right, he's the Kentucky to her Michigan State. He's the recruiting analyst for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Next level athlete, it's Greg Powers.
Hey, y'all.
What's up, dude?
Oh, just
all right?
Enjoying the cold weather. It's football weather, I guess.
It is football weather. That is darn right. Today is Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. 8 days until Thanksgiving. Here's a person who is going to need to be explained to me. Happy 29th birthday to Pete Davidson.
Okay.
You want to explain the Pete Davidson thing to me?
Do you know who that is?
I know who he is.
Okay.
Do you want to explain his appeal to me?
Oh, his appeal. Yeah. I don't see it. I'm not a Pete Davidson gal. I just don't think. I don't know how he pulls like Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian. I don't see it. Powers, can you help me on this?
I'm not a Pete Davidson gal either.
I'm not a Pete Davidson. There we go.
None of us are Pete Davidson gals.
Three non-Pete Davidson gals here.
Yeah,
anyway, happy birthday, Pete. It's episode 1499, I think.
Woo!
How about that?
Let's go. We'll be here for 1500 tomorrow.
Me and you.
Let's go.
On today's show, folks, we got This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, the Next Level Athlete. All things recruiting across the Lone Star State. In the back half of the show, Powers caught up with DeSoto defensive back Jaden Milliner-Jones to talk about what he's got cooking and his outstanding season so far. We'll hear from him coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Coach Terry Crawford.
Big game this week against Union Hill.
Yes, undefeated matchup. Rob Hadaway and Tony Blylock. Welcome in, fellas.
Welcome. I think that was only three. Wait, did you? No, you said something else.
No. Terry Crawford, Nick Morton, Rob.
Oh,
Hadaway,
you said
Tony
Nick.
Blylock.
I didn't hear you say Nick Morton. I apologize to Nick
guys.
Morton. Shout out Nick Morton. All right, let me see if we can do this. You ready to do this, buddy?
Let's do it.
How sure are you? Are you ready to do this?
99.9%.
I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Recruiting.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers of Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, their gravy is always the perfect temperature. I don't know how they do it. It is like that's
That is
something,
a good point.
That's something I appreciated this week. Their gravy is always exactly the temperature you need it to be.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a bad meal at Chicken Express ever.
Yeah.
Literally ever. I've never had a cold tendy.
I know.
Never had a lumpy
Cold
gravy.
tendy.
How do they do it?
Always this, and this is like, you guys know, like one of my preferred sides there is mozzarella sticks.
I do
Everybody
know,
who's
yeah.
a faithful listener of the show knows this.
You're a mott stick guy.
I've never had
their Mott sticks.
Oh,
He talked me into doing them, and let me tell you,
Are they
they're
life-changing?
he's
They're
exactly
really
right.
good.
They're
mods.
really for a place
Okay.
that like all due respect to our friends at Chicken Express, I don't think of Chicken Express and think like mozzarella sticks.
No,
Right.
But
you
like
don't typically.
it took you like 4 or 5 episodes to be like, you gotta try the mozzarella sticks, and I did. I'm like,
Cheese is always melty.
cheese is
Yum.
always melty. Yeah,
that
it's
sounds
good.
fantastic.
Anyway, yeah, it's This Week in Recruiting with Greg, because it's hard to screw. It's easy to screw up though.
Yeah, I mean, it like you go to a what I would consider like not upscale, but mid-tier
Yeah.
sit-down restaurant and get mott sticks. Like 50% of the time, they're terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
But there.
I don't know why.
Miss once, Chicken Express, please. This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise is Mansfield Lake Ridge defensive end Ryland Kennedy. He has had a big senior year, and the recruiting has followed. In November alone, he's picked up offers a lot from the West Coast.
Right.
Washington, Cal, USC, San Diego State, and then non-West Coast squad Auburn. But this is a guy that you should be keeping an eye on. Ryland Kennedy's recruiting is heating up there at Mansfield Lake Ridge.
And his tape is really good. He's a pure pass rusher off the edge. I really like that. He can really get after the quarterback. And an interesting story here is that this is his first year of playing football. He was a basketball guy before this, and that's kind of kept him off the radar. So he's really starting to see a meteoric rise as far as his recruitment is concerned. And you can see his quickness off the edge. I think if he would have been on the radar a little bit sooner, he would probably have 25 offers by now. But still, there's still time to get involved in this race. Interesting comments from him. He wants to be a sports medicine major, so if you're a school that offers a good program there, come on and get after him a little bit. And then I would say that I think that he's still going to get more offers. Texas Tech and Oklahoma State are, like, I would say, more regional schools that are showing him attention. If they come in with offers, maybe that could change the game. But, I mean, you got USC and Washington already. I mean, Cal and now Auburn. I guess USC is the one that really kept – I mean, that's the – because of where they're rated.
Yeah.
This year you have Lincoln Riley who went to OU to USC, and that, you know, they've got a big-time quarterback. I think USC is like one of those schools that everybody across the country – they notice it when you get an offer from that school. So, I mean, this is a guy who could play for basically any program.
Yeah,
he didn't play till this year. So, I mean, like, this is what Texas high school football is about.
Well, and that's the other thing is that, like, there's two ways to view this. One is that he's a pretty darn good player right now, and, like, if you were to get him, he'd be an asset. The other part of this is, what if he just continues this trajectory?
Right.
Like, everyone's got a ceiling, but we don't know where his is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so there's a lot of upside here for this young man. So that's a name to know there in Ryland Kennedy there at Mansfield Lake Ridge. Let's roll on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week is McKinney North wide receiver Corbin Hendricks. Corbin Hendricks has committed this week to Arizona State. Nice. I want to talk a little bit about this. He's a possession guy. This guy's had a great year for McKinney North, and he picked them over places like SFA, Minnesota, and New Mexico State. I'm always interested in this because Arizona State presently does not have a coach.
Right.
So, but obviously, he likes Tempe.
Yeah.
I think that's. I'm comfortable saying that, never having met Corbin Hendricks, but you gotta like the program.
Well, and what's interesting is like his recruitment is another one of these that kind of took off throughout the course of his senior year. All these offers are like in-season offers for him. He wasn't getting a lot of attention before this year. I called him a possession-style receiver because that's kind of what I saw when I went and watched them play against Tyler, and that's kind of what I saw on tape. He's a guy who really runs these intermediate routes well, can get open, and he's got really good hands. But I feel like when you say that it's not a negative connotation, but it gives the perception that he's not a guy who can stretch the field, and that's not entirely true. He's averaged 19 yards per catch, 608 yards this season with 5 touchdown catches, and the next closest receiver on his team had 293 yards. Mm-hmm. So he was like the star of the show as far as his offense was concerned. They have a really good running back there, young running back in J.P. Walker, who's going to catch some attention as well and rush for 1,900 yards. But as far as the passing game's concerned, Corbin Hendricks was a guy who they looked to early and often, and he's 6'3", 185 pounds. Now, you mentioned that he committed to a team that has no head coach currently.
Correct.
This commitment has to survive whoever that new head coach is going to be.
And there is also, like, he commits to Arizona State. He's got a couple offers for places like Minnesota, SFA, and New Mexico State. So I would categorize him as still a little under the radar at the moment.
Right.
The other thing about that, though, is this would strike me as the kind of guy, and I don't know Corbin Hendricks' heart, but this strikes me as the kind of guy who would probably listen to another offer. Do you know what I mean? Just generally speaking, that he would be a guy who's like, okay, I'm committed to Arizona State. Obviously, it's a little bit of a turmoil-ridden situation right now.
Yes.
We don't really know exactly what's going to happen. That if you could offer him something, I think he would be open to listening is all I would suggest.
Well, just kind of to put it some perspective, too, on it is October 18th, he picks up an offer from Minnesota.
Yeah.
October 19th, he picks up an offer from Arizona State and SFA. Mm-hmm. And then, this week he commits to Arizona State. So, I mean, I think that he probably committed to what would be one of his best offers. I mean, I kind of see Minnesota and Arizona State as a parallel as far as what they've been doing on the you know what I mean?
And that's a totally.
Well, I mean, like Minnesota's got the PJ Fleck thing,
It's also just a very
row the boat.
It's also just a very different like we are sitting here talking about he wants to go play. What's the better program? It's like there's also just a culture fit.
Right.
Like Minnesota and Arizona State could not
Polar
be more
opposites.
different. Like they might as well be in different universes.
Well, I know this to be true because I live in Collin County. Mm-hmm. Collin County has a big pool at Arizona State. Mm-hmm. A lot of kids, not only athletes, but a lot of kids like to go to Arizona State from that area. So that may have played a significant factor as well.
Who knows? We'll see what happens with Corbin Hendricks. He's committed to Arizona State. So this week in recruiting with Greg Pyre's Next Level Athlete here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation. #TF Today. Let's roll into our underclassman of the week. Our underclassman of the week is Parish Episcopal sophomore linebacker Parker Meese. Parker Meese picked up an offer this week from Texas A&M. Agriculture and McCain. I don't know. Texas A&M, the Aggies. Perhaps you've heard of them. That makes 21 offers for the sophomore, including... I don't know, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Oregon, Mizzou, North Carolina, Arkansas, a bunch of different offers. Of course, Parish Episcopal still alive in the TAPS Division I playoffs, but this is a guy who has seen his stock rise as his sophomore season has continued.
You rattled off some really impressive offers there for Parker Meese, but you know what you didn't say when you were naming those offers?
What's that?
Another in-state school.
Did I
Texas
miss it?
A&M was his first in-state offer out of 21 offers, which is like
weird.
I know, isn't it weird? I couldn't believe that whenever I was kind of like looking through the list, and I thought, you know what, Texas A&M, that's a big offer, right, for an in-state 2025 linebacker prospect. Then I looked at the rest of his list, and I was like, what, like SMU didn't go hit Parish Episcopal before A&M, you know?
And the other thing is, how many times is A&M the first to offer someone? Like,
right.
Almost never. That's not because, obviously, they're doing pretty well in the recruiting world. But that's just like, not their game. They don't have to be first.
Right.
You know?
Just
it's strange.
Just oddity, I guess. But I can tell you Parker Meese can play. And what I really was impressed with, you see a clip here from South Oak Cliff. That's the game where I went and watched him in person, is that he plays super intelligently. He's plays older than a class of 2025 prospect should. He reads and reacts really well. He doesn't I say what he doesn't do is he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Like he doesn't try to, it's like I'm going to lower the boom here and then miss a tackle. He's a technique sound player. He's 6'2", 225. He's class of 2025. I still think he has like room to add to that frame, so it'll be interesting to see how he develops in the future. But Parker Meese is certainly a name that a lot of recruiting fans in the Lone Star State are going to get to know by the time he signs a letter of intent, 3 years from now.
Yeah, most certainly. So keep an eye on him. Parker Meese, the linebacker, just a sophomore there at Parish Episcopal. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Willis junior quarterback DJ Lagway. And DJ Lagway has got something on his calendar. That is December 7th. He will be committing. He was scheduled as committed. This is he's got 33 offers. He's a guy that everyone's after. He will be pulling the trigger on December 7th. Do we have a read on what DJ Lagway may be thinking?
Well, first off, I'm looking at the schools that he took unofficial visits to recently. Texas A&M, Florida, Clemson, LSU, and Oklahoma are all kind of like stops that he made. I kind of like Florida in this one, surprisingly. I mean, or not surprisingly. I think that Florida has identified him as a guy in this class that they are, for lack of a I'm going to catch some.
Let's do it.
I'm going to catch some heat for they're throwing the bucket of cash at. You know what I mean? Like they're lining up the NIL
They're
money.
all in on it.
They're all in on DJ Lagway in this class, right? They've identified him as like nationally that guy, right? Like if there's anyone who we want to put our NIL deals behind or focus our efforts on, it's Lagway. And I think that is going to be a factor, but it's not the only factor, because I can tell you this. I've spent some time talking to Lagway, and this guy is a class act. Like you won't find a better leader for your team. Really, really high character guy. And I think that he's had multiple trips to go to Florida. So I think the Gators are really strong in this one. Texas A&M, he's had some visits there too. Clemson's really pushing hard for him, but I kind of like where the Gators sit in this. I mean, I'm fine to be wrong. Yeah. I'm fine to be wrong here, but that's just kind of like reading the tea leaves.
Here's the thing. So I remember seeing him at 7-on-7, at State 7-on-7. And first of all, like the hype is real. Like he can make every throw. He's got a good throwing motion. Like the arm strength is there. He reads the defense as well, things like that. Throws it on schedule, on time, things like that. The word that I would use to describe him is thick with 2 C's.
He's big.
Yeah.
I was
He's
about to say that.
Thick. Okay, this guy, like, he checks in. We've got him listed at 6'2", 225. He is a big dude. Like, he would be a linebacker on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
And they've got him back there at quarterback. And by the way, he's still, like, for a big guy, he's really agile. Yeah. And a guy who moves really well. I think DJ Lagway's a star, man.
He's put up monster numbers for Willis too, and he does it both ways, right? I think he's really worked hard on becoming a pass-first type of guy, and to call him a dual threat. Sometimes guys get offended when you say dual threat. I say it like as a term of admiration, because he's so hard to tackle. He can extend plays with his legs. He can work outside of the pocket. He can escape that initial pass rush to still, hook up with the connection down the field. And he's got a really strong arm and a unique delivery. He can get the ball out quickly because he throws it different than every other. He's just a different type of quarterback. And, that's why I think he's the odds-on favorite right now to be the number one quarterback in that 2024 class. Stay tuned. We're going to be dropping that top 10 in the class of 2024, and you guys will have to check out if DJ Lagway makes it in or not.
That's a tease. That's a tease from the master of teases. It's Greg Powers, Next Level Athlete. Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScout. Follow Next Level Athlete on Twitter, Next Level D1. See his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around because I want you to introduce the next segment.
I'll stay here.
Thanks. We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Now a word from our friends at VCR Now.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
Who'd you talk to this week, Powers?
We caught up with DeSoto defensive back Jaden Milliner-Jones, who is a proud SMU commitment.
Let's hear from him here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and I'm out here with DeSoto's defensive star of the night, Jaden Milliner-Jones. Man, you kind of set the tone out there tonight in a win over Mansfield, last district game of your high school career. Kind of what did it mean to you to go out there and have a big game out here on senior night?
It means a lot because it was fighting for that one spot to play for our first playoff game here on our home field. We're going to have to be home. And this is my senior year, so it had to go out with a bang.
Was it like kind of, walking out there with your people on that final night? Does it kind of set the tone? Is it a lot of emotions going through you whenever the whistle blows for that?
Yeah, it did. I do it for my mama and my dad and the rest of my family.
Kind of just talk about the season here at DeSoto. I know that you guys have state championship aspirations and kind of a bounce-back win for you this week.
Yeah, we do got state championship aspirations. That's what we're focusing on now. Even though we just lost to Duncanville, we're not focused on it no more. We're looking down the road and preparing for playoffs next week.
It just seems like yesterday you were out at the Next Level camp winning the DB MVP. Then a lot of offers started to happen for you. What was that whole process like as you kind of sifted through all those offers and then picked your school where you're going to be playing college ball at SMU?
It was just a long, hard-fought process, but it was just me finding the best relationship with coaches I had and the scheme I feel like I fit most in and what my mom and my dad felt really comfortable with me going to.
Were your parents pretty excited that you'd be staying close to home?
Yeah, they was. They said I'm 40 minutes away now, so ain't too far.
Just kind of talk about what's going on over at SMU. What do you like about that program and, the culture underneath the Rhett Lashley? He is the first-year head coach.
A lot of Dallas kids coming to the school, building relationships, everybody falling in love with the school, and they building it back up to where it used to be.
I mean this as a sincere compliment. It's hard for me to figure out what spot I feel like is best for you on the next level. You can kind of do a little bit of everything. Cornerback, safety, nickelback. What was their pitch to you? How do they kind of see you fitting in that defensive scheme?
Playing all the safety spots and nickel.
So they just want to use you. They want to have you do everything there too.
Yes, sir.
Kind of talk about what you feel like is your biggest strengths out there on the field. Is there anybody that you look up to, or what do you feel like you're bringing to the table? Why should SMU fans be fired up that you're on their commit list?
Because I'm going to be big on the run, deliver them big hits, and I'm going to be able to pass drop and play me in too. So I can do everything. I'm going to do whatever they need me to do.
One of the top players in DFW Metroplex going to SMU, Jaden Milliner-Jones. Good luck in the playoffs, and, of course, thanks for the time to do this interview.
No problem. Appreciate it.
There he is, Jaden Milliner-Jones out of DeSoto, the SMU commit. Good dude, and SMU's getting a good one. DeSoto looking to make a deep run. Big game this week against Rockwall Heath.
Yeah, and I really think Milliner-Jones is the heart and soul of that defense. They've got some really good players, but they use him in such a way where he could cover the pass or he could drop down to be a good run defender, play up in the box. They move him around because he is big enough to take a pounding and secure tackles against running backs, but fast enough to cover anybody. You can see he passes.
He passes the eyeball test. That is for darn sure. We appreciate his time. Mallory, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and Whataburger are proud to honor the best and brightest stars in Texas high school football with the 300-player ballot for the 2022 Whataburger Super Team. Texas high school football fans nominated more than 3,000 players on TexasFootball.com and now must narrow the field from 300 players to the 40 honorees. Fans can now vote for which players they believe deserve a spot on the 2022 Whataburger Super Team by voting at TexasFootball.com/WhatASuperTeam. That's TexasFootball.com/WhatASuperTeam.
What a super team.
Let's go over to Mallory Hartley for America's second favorite segment, Final Thoughts.
All I have is...
What's on your mug?
Oh. It's a llama. And it says, it's a llama, and it's in the cup it says, no drama. It's the no drama llama. So I felt like I needed it today with extra coffee in it.
Do you feel like you and I have beef?
Beefing?
Or beefing?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
When you talk before I turn my mic on. Your mic on. Anyways, ROF at 2 p.m. today, so tune in.
Public football, stay tuned for some college football talk. Powers, where are you going to go this week?
Long pending credential approval, of course. Frisco Lone Star versus Longview at the historic Kincaid Stadium.
Good coaching matchup.
Yeah.
Real good coaching matchup.
I think it could be a really fun game.
I think it could be. I think Longview's your favorite, but I think that
I think Longview is borderline heavy favorite,
Yeah.
I guess,
But I think
it could be it could,
Lone Star's also a team that I think maybe we buried early in the season because they took a couple losses.
not a team you want to play in the second round.
I think that's right. I think they've gotten better as the season goes on, and Jeff Rayburn's going to have a little something for the
Right.
Lobos. Should be a fun game. Okay, we'll enjoy it. It's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to DeSoto's Jaden Milliner-Jones for being our guest. For Greg Powers and Mallory Hartley, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.